Hi, and welcome back for another Scent Notes video. At this point, I usually introduce myself as Sean Mayer, and then I feel stupid because I realize if you've watched this many Scent Notes videos or you found what I'm saying, you probably know who I am, but putting it out there anyway, Sean Mayer. This time I'm going to talk about Agua Fresca by Chatillon. It's a new scent I've come out with. It's kind of new, kind of not, and I'll explain that a little bit. It's a fresh summer scent that I am really excited about, and I've gotten really great feedback on. Not only because of this iteration, but a few years back, probably a couple years back, I got approached by a store in Chicago, and they wanted me to make basically a dupe of L'Eau d'Issei, but with natural materials. And I said, well, you can't do that because there aren't natural materials that smell like that in nature. And he said, of course, he knows that because he was a perfume expert. And it turns out he wasn't, and he kept trying to trick me into thinking he was going to, and kept saying it didn't smell like it enough, and I kept saying, well, you can't make it smell like that with natural materials. So I finally convinced him to, that I can't do an impossible task, and, eventually we had to part ways because it was just, like trying to talk to a wall, basically. So I was left with this formula, and it was it turned out really well. I thought it was kind of inspired by the 90s fragrances, and being a person who came of age in the 90s, it was nostalgic for me, obviously, because those are the scents I grew up with. Those are the scents of my adolescence, things like CK1, L'Eau d'Issei, things that I smelled at a very formative time in my life. So it was really exciting for me, and I released it just as a short run because basically I put in about 30 or 40 hours of development, didn't get paid at all. So I was like, well, I'd love to at least get something for all the hours and hours I put into this. So I did a short run for Chatillon. We used to have this, I say we, the royal we. There's one guy, it's me. Again, Sean Mayer, But so I made this, I had the side project series I did for a little while, just to use spare formulations I had sent around. This one I released, and it was really popular, and people loved it, and they wanted me to make it a permanent part of my line. But I didn't want to do that because I didn't have obviously I had a personal nostalgic connection to it because of the scents, but it wasn't something that was something that was of my own creative vision, something I felt passionately about, and something that was about the city of St. Louis. It was developed from somebody in Chicago, and if you know the history of St. Louis and Chicago, there's a rivalry, although I still don't tell anybody here, I do love Chicago, but anyways, I'm off track here. What I'm saying is that I just didn't think that it was something that should be in the Chatillon line because it just did not represent what that line stood for. My creative vision, something that I'm inspired by, something that I feel passionately about. And so I was thinking a little while back, I went and I was at there's a lot of taquerias in the neighborhood I live in. It's the Cherokee Street Historic District in St. Louis, and it's got a lot of really great authentic taquerias that are just outstanding. And I highly recommend anybody, if you are ever here, to go check out a lot of them. Taqueria El Bronco, El Chorrito, Taco and Ice Cream Joint, La Vallasana. These are all amazing places, just outstanding. A lot of them have Agua Fresca, so, and it's something I've been enjoying, and especially it's in the summer. I've got actually one right here. It's very refreshing, and it's great. I love it. It's a fruit juice, but it's not it's not a fruit juice. It's something you can get your kind of fruit fix, but it's a little more watery, a lot more refreshing. Just something that, Agua Fresca, obviously. So I just love the drink, and it hit me that it's something that I love. I love these taquerias. I love the, families who own them. It's just such a fun experience every time you go in because it's just, it feels like so just welcoming every time you're in there, and it's just like the food is so good. And I love hot sauce, and you just pour it on there, and then you just get some Agua Fresca to wash the whole thing down. So I started thinking this is something that would actually translate really well to the bones of Nona Ginta, which is what I called that fragrance when I released it in the side project series. But it would be able to update it and kind of get some new spin, something I thought felt familiar and felt like it belonged in the Chatillon line. So that led to Agua Fresca. It's the new release from Chatillon. It comes out Saturday, June 4th. I do EDT, Scott from Declaration Grooming. He's doing a soap and aftershave. And it's something that I think is perfect for this time of year because it's light, airy, fresh, kind of watery, kind of just feels so refreshing. It's and it's just, it takes the bones of that cult classic of mine, but it also just, it changes it to whole something new. So I kind of did, in the top notes, it's kind of a melange of a lot of different Agua Frescas, different fruits you might find in there or something. It's, one of them is, you're gonna have like some citruses, like a yuzu, which I do with, there's like a yuzu zest, limonene, some other materials like linalool that you would find in yuzu accord. There's a couple essential oils from Robertet. It's a one of the great natural distilling houses in the world. I have an apricot one and a pineapple one. I use them both. Pineapple I also used in La Petite Prairie. It's a great material. Does not smell like the Aventus whatsoever. So, the pineapple allyl amyl glycoate. I'm sure I messed up that pronunciation as I always tend to do. But it smells like a real pineapple, not the Aventus pineapple. So just lay off with the Aventus comparisons. You put pineapple on something, everybody's like, is it Aventus? Is it Aventus? It's not Aventus. I don't do dupes, and it's not. That's why I had to do the, change this up a little bit, because I do original stuff, and everybody has an Aventus dupe. If you want an Aventus, you have no shortage of options to find it. So this is not Aventus. Let's get that out of the way. So we have the yuzu, we have the pineapple, we have the apricot. We also have a strawberry accord, which I use strawberry glycidate. I'm really terrible with remembering those names. I just have shorthand things. I look on my notes, so I have to learn how to say these every time I do a video. So it's strawberry glycidate, and I also use a cassifix, which is kind of a cassis note. It's kind of a green berry note, and I think it goes really well to go kind of ground that candy strawberry. I also have a lime accord, which is based around lime oxide, which is like a kind of a candy lime note. Honestly, it smells like lime candy. It's just really great. I thought it really worked really well as that leading the way. And then with all that as well, I have it's a musk, but it also serves as a top note. It's called Xenolide. It's got kind of an apple type tinge to it. It's not fully apple. It is, like I said, it's a white musk, but it works on the top notes, and it really boosts them, and it gives fruity notes on the top, like a really nice boost. So on top of all that, it's just like this big fruity opening accord, but I try to keep it really airy because I think this is a refreshing thing. So we go down the middle, and first of all, there's a big boost of Chatillon, which is kind of fruity, kind of floral. It's a little jasmine-y, and but it's not like the big, thick, rich jasmine. It's like an airy jasmine. Like maybe you smell jasmine in the air. It's a long ways away. But it's really good. First of all, it's very 90s. It's a very 90s thing. You would smell it everywhere. You're gonna smell it, in so many of the 90s hits. And also, it just really does a great job of blending with stuff. It kind of acts as a helper. I also added kind of some watery notes in there. So you're gonna have like a cucumber note, Isoraldine 95, and then you add some kind of like watery florals in there, like bourgeonal. You're gonna have precyclamone B and also bourgeonal. Did I say bourgeonal? Vernaldehyde is the third one I was looking for here. So those are all kind of like green watery notes that add to that, like a watery drink, Agua Fresca, again. So you're gonna have all that working together. So that adds the mid, so it's gonna give it that, just like kind of make it more airy, more refreshing, something that's not too thick, because it's a summertime fragrance, something that you really wanna be able to, spray on. I took the percentage down a little bit as far as the concentration as well compared to some of my other ones. So at a 12% concentration, it really projects a lot more, but it burns more quickly and doesn't feel thick. Like, if you've smelled like extrait, like my Merit olfactive line, that's gonna be, a big, thick, high concentration. And they might not project as much, but they are going to be just really thick and smothering if you wear it like a really hot day. If you're like hot-blooded like me especially, I'm always running hot, so I put on a fragrance and it just really burns bright. And so like something that's light, whenever I wear it, I have to put on an eau de cologne, something like this, something on a hot day that I just know it's really wearable and it's gonna be airy enough that it's just not gonna choke me out, So then we're gonna go down to the base, and I used a vetiver. There's a combination of two different things. Haitian vetiver, which is gonna be like, it goes really well with fruit. It does really well with that kind of thing. So it works really well in the background. I combined it with a big dose of Veticone, which is a synthetic material that I've used before. You've probably heard me talk about it before. It is kind of vetiver with a big, pulls out that grapefruit peel type essence of vetiver, and so it really goes well with these fruity notes that I have up top, so that it just all works together and just just is really synergistic. And then we go down further to a cream kind of note, and I wanted to kind of represent that dessert type Agua Fresca, something, so I used on that one, started off with ethyl vanillin. It's there's the traditional vanillin and then ethyl vanillin, which is not as bold and nice creamy as the ethyl vanillin, so I think it goes really well with the cream. I combined that with bicyclonolactone, got it, and that one is kind of a tonka type lactonic material, really creamy. It's gonna have some like cinnamony almost like tinges to it. And then with all those as well, there's a third one, and there's also going to be gamma nonolactone, which is also kind of a coconutty cream to it as well, which I think is just perfect. It really seals up that whole tropical drink type of fruit as well. Finally, at the very bottom, there are going to be a couple white musks. There's Helvetilide and Romanolide. Both are like what you call like a laundry musk, a white musk, something like that. It's not going to be like animal musk. It's going to be fresh and again, airy, something that boosts the whole thing and gives it strength and, just a good base, but nothing that really has a character of its own other than like just a general freshness. So it's gonna add to that just refreshing vibe of an Agua Fresca. And both of those were also used in Nona Gintas, along with many other of these materials. But while I say it has the same backbone, it doesn't smell like, they're gonna smell different. You're not gonna don't buy this if you expect it to smell just like Nona Ginta. I hope nobody turned off the video at this point and says like, cool, it smells just like it, and it's be an angry email, because it's not gonna smell like that. It's gonna smell like its own creature, but it has the same vibe, the same intention to it a little, if you will. So this is gonna come out on Saturday, June 4th. Totally different season, totally different month. Saturday, June 4th, Chatillon Looks, and also Declaration Grooming. And then I'm gonna have the full bottles available as always. I have to say this, even though every single release, I release the bottles, and then once I get caught up with orders, I will make samples and put them out there. Never fails, I'm gonna get a ton of comments and a ton of emails, and so hopefully this will stem off a few. But I'm just one person who has a very demanding full-time job. I'm doing the best I can, but there's only so much I can bite off, and chew. So I just gotta keep the workflow manageable, and that just boils down to opening weekend. I'm just gonna have to sell full bottles. Then after that, we're gonna go down to we're gonna get samples in there eventually once I get caught up. So yeah, I'm really excited about this one. I know a lot of people are excited about it. I've been hearing a lot about it. It's just something that I think is going to be fun for the summer. And honestly, and if you want to brighten up your winter too, on a dreary day, you throw this on, it's going to feel a lot brighter, a lot happier. So Agua Fresca, June 4th. Hope you enjoy it, and thanks for watching.